Dr. Marcus Webb adjusted his translation headset for the 100th time that morning. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear but from pure excitement. After 30 years studying xenolinguistics, he was about to participate in humanity's first live diplomatic exchange with an alien civilization. The Varani had arrived 6 months ago, their ships emerging from hyperspace with elegant grace. Their ambassador, a tall being named Velith, had been nothing but charming. His species looked almost human, slender frames, intelligent eyes, voices that carried warmth and curiosity. They claimed to be galactic documentarians, traveling the stars to record and celebrate intelligent life. "Dr. Webb, we're ready for your final check," called Rachel Torres from across the broadcast center. The military analyst had been assigned to security, though everyone agreed it was merely a formality. The Varani had submitted to every scan, every inspection. They'd shared technology freely and asked for nothing in return except this one broadcast. Marcus walked to the main console where James Park, the network's chief engineer, was running final diagnostics. "Signal strength is perfect," James said, his eyes reflecting the soft glow of dozens of monitors. "This is going out to every screen on Earth simultaneously. Television, phones, computers, even the big displays in Times Square. Estimated 9 million live viewers, with billions more watching recorded streams within hours." "And the Varani transmission?" Marcus asked. "Clean as starlight," James replied. "I've checked the code myself 3 times. It's just standard audio-visual data. Nothing unusual." Across the city, in a small apartment in Brooklyn, Rachel Torres's daughter Emma sat with her grandmother, excited to watch history unfold. In Tokyo, a classroom of students pressed closer to their screen. In Mumbai, families gathered in the streets around public displays. The world waited with held breath. The broadcast began beautifully. Velith appeared on screen, his presence commanding yet gentle. "People of Earth," he began, "we are honored to share this moment with you. We have traveled far to witness your remarkable civilization." The documentary rolled, stunning footage of human achievement. The first moon landing, the construction of orbital stations, art, music, literature. Marcus felt tears in his eyes. They saw humanity as he did, flawed but striving, violent but capable of profound beauty. Then something changed. Velith's expression shifted. The warmth drained from his face, replaced by something cold and calculating. "However," Velith continued, his voice now stripped of kindness, "the galaxy has limited resources. Inferior species must be managed." Marcus's blood went cold. "James, cut the feed." "I can't." James frantically typed commands. "It's locked me out." The signal's self-sustaining. On screens worldwide, a frequency began to pulse, invisible to the eye but devastating to the human nervous system. The Varani had embedded a neurological weapon in the broadcast itself, hidden within seemingly innocent data streams. Emma Torres clutched her grandmother's hand as both felt a sudden, crushing pressure in their skulls. In that Tokyo classroom, students collapsed simultaneously. In Mumbai, the crowds fell like puppets with cut strings. 9 million people died in 43 seconds. Marcus watched the monitor in horror as the death toll counter climbed. His sister. His nephew. Friends scattered across continents. Gone. Just gone. Velith smiled into the camera. "Let this demonstrate our superiority. Surrender your world within 24 hours, or we will broadcast again. Next time, we'll reach billions." The screen went black. For exactly 8 seconds, the broadcast center was silent. Then Rachel Torres's phone rang. And rang. And rang. Each call bringing the same news: mass casualties, global panic, and something else. Something the Varani hadn't anticipated. Rage. Pure, unified, human rage. Rachel answered one call, her face pale but her voice steady as steel. "General Cross." "Yes, sir. I understand. All assets." "No, sir. Not defending. Exterminating." She hung up and looked at Marcus. "The president is convening an emergency session. Every nation. One agenda." Her eyes held the look of someone who'd lost everything and found purpose in the ashes. "The Varani wanted to break us. They just united 7 billion people under a single goal." James's console lit up with incoming military encryption codes. Marcus's headset buzzed with translation requests from every intelligence agency on Earth. Outside, sirens wailed, but beneath the chaos, something else hummed to life. Humanity had been tested. And humanity had declared its answer. Total extermination. 3 months had passed since the Varani broadcast, and Earth had transformed into something unrecognizable. General Vincent Cross stood in the command center of Ironhaven Base, a facility that hadn't existed 90 days ago. Now it sprawled beneath the Nevada desert, housing the largest military-scientific collaboration in human history. "General, the Prometheus protocol is showing results," reported Dr. Helena Frost, her white lab coat stained with sleepless nights and coffee. Once a theoretical physicist bound by ethical regulations, she now led a team weaponizing technologies the world had agreed should never exist. "We've cracked their biological signature." Vincent studied the holographic display floating between them. Before the broadcast, he'd been planning retirement, dreaming of fishing trips with his grandchildren. Now those grandchildren were orphans, their parents had been watching the Varani transmission. His daughter. His son-in-law. Gone in seconds. "Show me," he said quietly. Helena expanded the display. The Varani physiology operates on quantum-entangled cellular structures. It makes them efficient, nearly disease-proof. But it also creates a catastrophic vulnerability. She pulled up a wavelength pattern. "If we can generate this specific frequency and broadcast it through quantum disruption fields, their cells will tear themselves apart at the molecular level." "How long until deployment?" 2 weeks. Maybe less. Across the facility, in the pilot training sector, Marcus Chen pulled himself from a neural simulation pod, sweat dripping down his face. The young pilot had logged 300 combat hours in the last month alone, all simulated, all brutal, all preparing for a war unlike any humanity had fought. "You're improving," said his instructor, a grizzled veteran named Thomas Briggs who'd flown missions in Syria back when Earth's conflict seemed significant. "Your reaction time is down to 0.3 seconds. "Not fast enough," Marcus muttered. He pulled up footage on his datapad, the same footage everyone had seen. His younger brother had been in that Tokyo classroom. 13 years old. Dead because he'd wanted to watch history. "Chen, you need rest." "I'll rest when the Varani are extinct." Marcus climbed back into the pod. "Run Scenario 47 again." In the intelligence wing, Rachel Torres hadn't left her office in 2 days. Screens surrounded her, each tracking Varani positions across known space. They'd identified 17 colony worlds, 43 stations, and hundreds of ships. Her team had catalogued every transmission, every movement, every pattern. "Rachel, you need to see this," called Daniel Foster, her second-in-command. He'd lost his husband to the broadcast. Now he worked 20-hour days with the same cold determination she recognized in the mirror. She walked to his station. "What am I looking at?" "Intercepted Varani communications. They're panicking." Daniel played the audio. Even through translation software, the fear was palpable. "They're detecting our industrial output. The spike in energy signatures. They know we're building something." Rachel smiled without warmth. "Good. Let them be afraid." The recording continued. Velitha's voice, no longer smooth and confident, "The humans should have surrendered. Why are they mobilizing? Why are they, static interrupted? Forbidden technologies. My government demands answers. This was supposed to break them. They are requesting reinforcements from their homeworld," Daniel added. "Scared reinforcements. Track every ship movement," Rachel ordered. "When we strike, I want to know where every single Varani is located." In a secure laboratory, James Park worked alongside engineers from 15 nations. The network specialist had become something else, an architect of humanity's vengeance. "If they can weaponize broadcasts, so can we," he explained to his team. "But we're not stopping at neurological attacks. We're going deeper." On his screen, code cascaded, a virus designed specifically for Varani technology. Their ships, their stations, their life support systems all run on similar quantum computing architecture. "We've reverse-engineered their communication protocols." He pulled up a simulation. "Once we breach their networks, this virus won't just disable their systems. It'll turn them into beacons, broadcasting the extinction frequency Dr. Frost developed." A Chinese engineer named Liu Wei leaned forward. "Their own technology will kill them." Poetic, isn't it? James's voice carried no humor. He'd watched his parents die on that screen. Now he was building their executioners. General Vincent Cross assembled his war council in the command center's main hall. Screens displayed the fleet, humanity's answer to the Varani threat. Shipyards across Earth and Luna had worked in unprecedented cooperation. Chinese yards built alongside American. Russian engineers collaborated with European. Indian factories supplied African assembly plants. The result, 200 warships, each equipped with weapons that had been theoretical nightmares before the broadcast. The Extermination fleet launches in 1 week, Vincent announced. Dr. Frost's extinction arrays are being installed as we speak. Lieutenant Torres's intelligence has mapped every target. Engineer Park's viral payload is ready for deployment. He paused, looking at the faces around him. Scientists, soldiers, civilians, all united by grief and purpose. The Varani made a calculated choice. They believed killing 9 million of us would terrify the rest into submission. They studied our history and saw our divisions, our conflicts, our weaknesses. Vincent's jaw tightened. They didn't understand that humans are most dangerous when we have something to protect. Or avenge. Dr. Marcus Webb entered the chamber, the xenolinguist who'd been at the broadcast center. He'd barely spoken since that day. Now he carried a data crystal. "General, I've finished the translation." He loaded the crystal, and Varani text filled the screens. "This is from their archived communications. Their government knew the weapon could fail. They knew some humans would survive. They proceeded anyway because, and I quote, inferior species lack the will for true retaliation." Silence fell across the chamber. Rachel Torres stood. "Then let's teach them about human will." 1 week later, the Extermination fleet powered up. Quantum engines hummed to life. Extinction arrays glowed with lethal purpose. Marcus Chen sat in his fighter's cockpit, hands steady on the controls. James Park monitored viral deployment systems. Dr. Helena Frost watched her frequency generators charge. General Vincent Cross gave the order humanity had been building toward. "All ships, engage hyperspace drives. Target, Varani space." The fleet vanished in a burst of light, carrying humanity's promise, total extinction. And across the galaxy, the Varani finally understood their mistake. The human fleet emerged from hyperspace like a swarm of steel predators. 200 warships dropped into real space at the edge of Varani territory, their quantum drives leaving ripples in the fabric of space itself. General Vincent Cross stood on the bridge of the flagship Retribution, watching the enemy homeworld grow larger on the viewscreen. "All ships report ready status," announced Commander Patricia Wells, his second-in-command. She'd been a logistics officer before the broadcast. Now she coordinated humanity's deadliest assault. Varani Defense Fleet detected, called out sensor operator Kevin Zhao. "They're scrambling. Looks like chaos, sir. Their formations are breaking before we've even fired." Vincent allowed himself a grim smile. "They know why we're here." On the planet's surface, Velith paced frantically in the Grand Council chamber. The elegant ambassador who'd smiled so confidently during the broadcast now looked haggard, desperate. Around him, Varani officials argued in rising panic. "How did they advance so quickly?" demanded Council Prime the Tsar. "Our intelligence said humans were centuries behind us technologically." "They weaponized everything," Velith gasped. "Technologies their own laws forbade. Quantum disruption. Biological targeting. They threw away every ethical constraint." His voice cracked. "We killed 9 million of them. They're going to kill all of us." An incoming transmission silenced the chamber. General Vincent Cross's face appeared on every screen across the Varani homeworld. His expression was carved from stone. "I am General Vincent Cross of Earth's Extermination Fleet. 3 months ago, you murdered 9 million innocent humans during what you called a demonstration. You believed this would break our will." He leaned forward. "You were catastrophically wrong." In the Varani streets, citizens stopped and stared at the screens. They'd been told humans were weak, inferior, easily dominated. Now they saw something else in those human eyes: absolute, unwavering purpose. "We have not come to negotiate," Vincent continued. "We have not come to accept surrender. We have come to ensure that no species will ever again mistake human mercy for weakness." Rachel Torres stood beside him, her intelligence reports displayed on tactical screens. "We know the location of every Varani world, every station, every ship. We have mapped your entire civilization." Her voice was steady, clinical. "And we have brought the means to end it." Velith's legs buckled. He grabbed the edge of the council table. "Open a channel. I need to speak to them." The transmission connected. Velith's face appeared on the Retribution's bridge. He looked like he'd aged years and months. "General Cross, please. I beg you to reconsider. Our government acted rashly. I personally advocated against." "You stood on that broadcast," Rachel interrupted coldly. You smiled while 9 million humans died. My daughter was 8 years old. My mother was watching with her. Do you know what I found when I reached their apartment? Velith couldn't meet her eyes. Nothing, Rachel continued. The neurological weapon didn't just kill them. It erased their final moments of fear. They died not knowing why, not understanding. You took away even their chance to say goodbye. We can make reparations, Velith pleaded. Technology, resources, territory, anything you want. We have children here. Innocents who had nothing to do with. So did we, Vincent said quietly. You made your choice. Now face the consequences. On the flight deck, Marcus Chen powered up his fighter. Around him, 2,000 other pilots did the same. His hands moved across controls with practiced precision, each movement a prayer for his brother. All fighters, this is Flight Commander Thomas Briggs. Deploy for planetary suppression. Keep their defense forces occupied while the main fleet positions the extinction arrays. Marcus's fighter shot from the launch bay, joining a stream of craft that filled the space between the fleet and the planet. Virani interceptors rose to meet them, but the difference was immediately clear. Human pilots flew with suicidal precision, their reflexes enhanced by neural implants, their tactics honed by months of relentless training. Fox 3, Marcus called, releasing a missile. It tracked a Virani cruiser and detonated, the explosion tearing through shields that would have stopped conventional weapons. But these weren't conventional. Every weapon humanity deployed had been designed specifically to kill Virani. In the Retribution's engineering bay, Dr. Helena Frost monitored the extinction arrays as they unfolded from the fleet's capital ships. The devices looked almost beautiful, crystalline structures that caught and refracted starlight. But their purpose was singular: broadcast the frequency that would unmake Virani biology at the cellular level. Arrays at 90% charge, she reported to the bridge. Her voice never wavered, though inside she remembered her nephew's funeral. The empty casket because there had been no body to bury. James Park worked from the cyber warfare station, his fingers flying across holographic keyboards. Viral payload deployed. I'm in their networks. Screens filled with Virani code as he tore through their firewalls like paper. Their defense grid is mine. Their communications are mine. Their life support systems are mine. He paused, looking at Vincent. Sir, I can disable their planetary shields without firing a shot. Do it, Vincent ordered. Let them feel helpless. Let them know what it's like to watch death coming and be unable to stop it. The Virani shields flickered and died. On the planet's surface, sirens wailed. Citizens ran through streets in panic. Parents grabbed children. The elderly looked to the sky with resignation. Velith made one final transmission. His composure had completely shattered. Please, General Cross. In the name of mercy, in the name of any shared understanding between intelligent species. Rachel Torres stepped forward. You should have studied us better, Velith. Humans have a saying, mercy is for those who show it first. You showed us none. You will receive none. Vincent raised his hand. Dr. Frost, activate the extinction arrays. Helena's fingers moved to the final activation sequence. She thought of her nephew, laughing at a birthday party 2 months before he'd watched the Virani broadcast. She thought of 9 million faces, 9 million futures erased. Arrays at 100%, she said softly. Engaging. The crystalline structures blazed with light. Quantum-entangled particles streamed toward the planet, invisible but absolutely lethal. The frequency Dr. Frost had designed began its work, not explosively, not violently, but with systematic precision. On the Virani homeworld, citizens stopped running. The frequency wasn't painful. It simply ended them. Cell by cell, molecule by molecule, their quantum-entangled biology unraveled. They had seconds to understand what was happening before consciousness faded. Velith stood in the council chamber, feeling his hands begin to dissolve. He looked at the human fleet on the screen and understood, finally, the magnitude of his civilization's error. Humans didn't surrender when broken. They evolved when threatened. Within 17 minutes, the Virani homeworld was silent. 17 billion lives ended with the same clinical efficiency they'd used to kill 9 million humans. But the fleet didn't stop there. Vincent gave the orders, and the extermination fleet split into attack groups. Each group had coordinates for Virani colonies. Each carried the extinction arrays. Each had the same mission. Over the next 48 hours, humanity erased the Virani from existence. Every world. Every station. Every ship. Not a single survivor. Not a single chance for the species to rebuild or learn or try again. When the fleet returned to Earth, no one celebrated. General Vincent Cross stood before the memorial wall displaying 9 million names. He placed his hand against his daughter's engraved letters. "Is it enough?" Patricia Wells asked quietly beside him. "No," Vincent said. "Nothing will ever be enough. But it's finished." Dr. Marcus Webb published a single transmission to the galaxy's diplomatic networks. It contained footage of the Varani extinction and one simple message: humanity seeks peace. We will trade, explore, and cooperate with any species willing to do the same. But to those who mistake our kindness for weakness, remember the Varani. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations that had watched the event with telescopes and sensors marked humanity's profile with a new designation: Apex Retaliator, never engage lethally. Marcus Chen returned to his quarters and finally allowed himself to cry for his brother. Rachel Torres held her daughter's photograph and whispered apologies for the world they now lived in. James Park deleted the viral codes, ensuring no one could ever use them again. Dr. Helena Frost submitted her resignation, unable to continue the work that had saved humanity but cost her soul. Earth itself changed. Monuments rose for the 9 million. Laws were written to ensure the technologies developed during the crisis would be locked away, used only if humanity faced extinction again. But everyone knew the truth: they had crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. They had become the very thing they'd feared, a species capable of absolute annihilation. And yet, as General Vincent Cross stood at the memorial, he couldn't bring himself to regret it. "For the 9 million, he whispered. Across Earth, billions echoed those words. The Varani had wanted to demonstrate superiority through terror. Instead, they taught the galaxy an ancient human truth: we are capable of extraordinary love and unimaginable wrath. Choose which one you meet carefully.